Hello everybody, my name is Necroxis. This is the last video on 8.2.5, I promise. This one is just going to be covering basically the epilogue of everything else that's happened. Because there's an in-game cinematic, or an in-game cutscene, not an in-game cinematic, an in-game cutscene for Saurfang Loyalist, Sylvanas Loyalist, and the Alliance. They all get a different one. So we're going to watch all of them, and then there are some also, I guess, important dialogues that people will say in Orgrimmar, so we're going to cover that as well. So this will just be titled, like, the epilogue of the war campaign. So, first off, we have the Saurfang Loyalist. This is going to be spoilers, in case you haven't seen the rest of the stuff, so this seems to take place after Saurfang's death, and I believe it is his funeral, although I haven't seen any of these three yet. So, we're going to start out with this one first, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Varrock Saurfang, son of Koruk, supreme commander of the might of Kalimdor, high overlord of the Horde.
Some pretty awesome titles.
He led the charge against the Lich King. He defended our world from the Legion.
He led the fight against Ahn'Qiraj.
Inspired all of us to strive
Are they gonna mention that?
for true honor.
So that's where I first loved
his
him.
legacy will live on in our deeds.
I'm sorry for the wowhead, by the way.
When the Alliance and Horde marched on Ahn'Qiraj, it was Saurfang who valiantly commanded our
There we
combined
go.
forces. Today, his courage saved thousands of lives on both sides of the battle. His sacrifice will never be forgotten.
You have earned your warrior's death, old friend. Now, greet your son with honor and glory.
That Saurfang theme, so good. It's like getting close to Anduin's theme level good. That was good. A funeral fit for a war chief. Or who should be a war chief. No, I never thought about who's going to be the war chief now. I guess, I don't know. Thrall? Bane, it doesn't seem, Bane, like, wasn't even there. So I'm surprised that, it's weird that Bane's, like, not involved in any of this, I'm realizing right now. I know on the Horde side, he's, like, defending Thunderbluff, I guess, but I feel like you put Bane in these cutscenes because he's, like, kind of part of this whole thing, you know? Bane, like, Bane and Saurfang, like, started the rebellion together, and then he just kind of doesn't get a finale to it. Unless there's, like, Bane's Ascension coming in, like, 8.3 or something, but it's a little weird that Bane's not here. That's, like, my only criticism of all of 8.2.5 so far. It's strange. So, alright, the next one is the Alliance, and, again, I'm sorry that these are Wowhead videos. They have their stupid, gigantic, obnoxious watermark on them. Because some of these I just can't see in the game because I haven't fulfilled the right things. Like, for example, I don't have a Sylvanas Loyalist endgame character, so I can't even see that one. I haven't done the Horde side yet, so I can see the Saurfang one. Or maybe both factions see that, I don't know. But this is the Alliance one, which I'll do. I'm going to do the rest of the quest chain. I stopped right after the cinematic to record all these other stuff, so right after this I'm going to do the rest of the Alliance. I'm pretty sure it's just like, hey, it's over, go back home. But the Alliance one has an epilogue. The video is entitled Kalia, Jaina, and Derek. So finally we'll see Kalia showing up, doing something. So that should be pretty cool. So we're gonna start because she hasn't shown up yet in this patch. I guess I was wrong. I said she's gonna play a major role. At least I thought she would, but maybe not. So I guess let's start with this one in 3, 2, 1, go.
Ah, Jaina. What a relief to see you safe.
Hello, Kalia. Big brother.
She's
Word
finally
has
in the
spread of
game.
what happened at Orgrimmar. Is the war finally over?
It will take time for all the pockets of fighting to be quelled, but yes, I believe so.
Azeroth has seen so many wars, so much strife.
I love the
I
sound of her
pray
voice
we
now.
have earned a respite.
As do I. Have you been able to find peace in your own heart, Derek?
I still have some rough seas to sail, but I'm much better now.
Sorry for the dog.
Thanks to Kalia. Without her guidance, I would have been truly lost.
I'm so grateful you brought us together, Jaina. This time with Derek has helped me as much as it's helped him.
In the wake of this war, others will need to find their footing, their future. Perhaps you could guide them, too.
I'm not sure how much help I could be. I don't have all the answers.
Maybe they don't need answers. Maybe they just need hope. Like I did.
Well said, Big Brother. Come, let's take a walk. I am so grateful to have you both back in my life.
Maybe what they need
Let's
is
enjoy this
Queen
moment
Kalia
together.
fucking Menethil to come back and be a leader, because that's what I think I need as a player and a fan of the story. So that was great. Yeah, there's not really much to say about that. Very interesting, Kalia and Derek. We already knew. I'm so they could still do it, but it feels like it's over now. If that. The time for the Derek betrayal to be revealed still has passed, so I'm happy they didn't be like, I planned this all along, I'm Sylvanas, I'm so smart. Now Derek's gonna kill Catherine. Like, behind the scenes, he's still mind-controlled. I'm glad that didn't happen, because that would have been stupid. I would have hated that with a passion, and I'm just very happy it didn't happen. So, interesting. So, I mean, I feel like this is such... If there are going to be more allied races, I feel like this is setting up Lightforged Undead, like, hardcore. Like, more than any other story before for other allied races that became allied races. This is like, maybe if you can help other people like you helped me, that will be enough for them. It's like, if I could, like, blare, like the little things you wave when you're, like, directing planes, it's like, this is where... The new allied race is coming in right here. Lightforged Undead. Just come on this way. Here we go. We got our leader. We have our two faction characters. We have Derek and Kalia. So, yeah. That was cool. Now, finally, we have the Sylvanas Loyalist one, which I've been told... I don't know what's going to happen. Or at least I've heard people talk about this one actually being story relevant to the expansion story so far. So I'm excited to see what... nonsense Sylvanas can still be up to here, because I don't even know where the hell she went. So I hope we find out in 3, 2, 1, go.
Champion. I wasn't certain you made it out of Orgrimmar.
Oh, she went back to Windrunner
If
Spire.
the traitors knew of your service to me, they'd have put you in irons. Or worse. Sarfang's ill-considered challenge may have ended the war prematurely, but it doesn't matter now.
Does she only have Banshees
Countless
left?
souls have been fed to the hungering darkness. Though I cared nothing for the living, I did pity the Forsaken, for the great injustice that made them what they are.
So I want to make more!
I understand the cruelty of fate better than anyone. But despite all I taught them, they stubbornly clung to hope, to life. They will learn the
What did
truth,
you want them to do? Just
along
kill
with
themselves?
all the rest.
Fucking crazy bitch.
My bargain with Ajara will yet bear fruit.
What?
The armies of Azeroth will fight her master, and he will line their streets with corpses. In the end, he too will serve death. Enough reflection. There are preparations to be made. Nothing lasts. When next you see me, you will understand.
What the fuck? My bargain with Ajara, so she has, I guess her and Ajara were working together to kill everybody in 8.2. What an anti-hero. She's upset that the rest of the Forsaken clung to life? I don't know what you wanted them to do, Sylvanas. Did you want them all to just kill themselves? Did you want the rest of the Horde to just kill them? This seems like it's confirmation that literally all she was doing was just killing people en masse for death. How is this not just a faction of an expansion villain right here? Like, I really don't get it. So she struck a bargain with Ajara, implying that Azara was working with her to kill N'Zoth? But there's no indication of any of that in any of Azara's actions or words or appearances at any point in this whole game or the whole franchise. So what? And then she thinks she's going to kill N'Zoth to serve Death. Who is Death? Does she think she's Death? Is it Helia, who we've already killed, so that her being a villain again kind of... the threat is kind of sucked out? Is it Juan Samdi's master? Is it some death god? Is it the Void Lords that are just masquerading as Death? None of what Sylvanas is doing makes any sense at all. Outside of the realm of, I'm a villain doing villainous things, and then she'll eventually have to be killed. Because, okay, great. So let's say we do her plan, and everyone just dies. And I guess that means we can kill N'Zoth. But then everyone's still dead, and serving Death, whoever or whatever that may be. She's just serving a different master, like Azara serving N'Zoth. So it's not like she's doing some noble thing. And I know she's not, but I'm trying to make this argument to Sylvanas fanboys who keep insisting that she's doing something noble. What more does Blizzard have to tell you to be like, she's fucking a villain? She's evil. She's Gul'dan. She's the Lich King. She's bad. She's not doing anything good. She's not an anti-hero. Even if the Void can be fought with Death, who cares? Because then Death is the villain. So is it like, are they trying to set up like, let's go die so we can kill the Void, but then we're dead, so who cares? I really need to know what the next expansion is, because I don't know where the fuck any of this Sylvanas nonsense is going, because it doesn't make any sense at all. None of it makes any sense. So it's interesting, I guess. And I also know that at the end of this cutscene, Sylvanas says something to Nathanos, and he calls her my love, so it's like, oh, he finally confirmed it. It's like, okay, great. Who cares? Alright, so, now we have some dialogue, and you can see this on Wowhead if you want. I'll put a link to this in the box below, but there are a couple of interesting Orgrimmar NPC dialogues after this whole thing happens. So, there's one with Eitrig if you're a Sylvanas loyalist, and remember you beat up Eitrig in a Sylvanas loyalist quest line earlier. He basically just says he doesn't hold it against you, we both thought what we were doing was right, and let's leave it in the past. If you were with Saurfang, Eitrig has a lot more to say. He says, Honor Champion, it saved the lives of thousands today, and it saved my life more than once. Saurfang and I were both from the Blackrock clan. Blackhand chose us to lead his armies. We committed terrible acts under his command. I couldn't live with the sham. I went into hiding after the Second War was over, but not Saurfang. He helped other orcs move past their guilt and strive for lost honor. Nice callback to the cinematic title. He was a fearsome warrior, but that isn't what made him a hero. He gave us hope when we needed it most back then and now, and that will always be his greatest deed. So that's very nice, because Eitrig and Saurfang did have a history. And then there's some more stuff where basically people in Orgrimmar are like being mean to Sylvanas loyalists, and then people like Gazlo and Bane show up, and they're like, don't be mean! Like there's one where there's a Sylvanas former loyalist trying to sell something on the auction house, and one of the auctioneers is like, no, you like Sylvanas, and Gazlo's like, who cares? They're not with her anymore, sell your shit. And this actually did make me laugh, because the loyalist wanted to sell 20 anchorweed individually. So that's pretty funny. Another one was someone trying to use the bank. And then there's a bunch of Forsaken refugees being like, how could Sylvanas abandon us? She's not loyal to the Horde or anyone or even the Forsaken. We were her people, but we're not anymore. And then some of the Forsaken refugees are like, I'm not sad to see her leave because she abandoned us. And it's basically just stuff like that. So if you want to read all of them, you can see them in the comments below. But I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, and that's basically it. So the epilogues were interesting. Not a lot of information. None in the Alliance and the Saurfang ones. And the Sylvanas ones are just like, taking my glasses off because of the glare, is just nonsense, just introducing like 17 plot threads that none of which get answered. So I don't know what to take of that. I feel like why it's weird to me that they keep trying to reward this Sylvanas loyalist quest chain, because here's where we are now in the game, story-wise and mechanically. there's the Horde and the Alliance in Sarfang, and Sylvanas is evil. So how can they possibly, unless they're going to invent a third faction, which they're not going to do. Sorry, everyone, there's not going to be 3 factions in World of Warcraft. The amount of mechanical changes to make that happen is absurd, is ridiculous. And I don't even know how they could possibly do that going forward, because that would mean they would need to make 3 different separate quest lines every expansion for each zone in each new expansion. Then they're not going to do that. They barely even do a Horde and an Alliance quest chain in every zone. Like, this is, they're not going to do it. So I don't know what they're doing, still teasing like this. Here's your reward. You get a Sylvanas monologuing nonsense at you. I hope that's the end, and I hope the next time we see that there is no more Sylvanas loyalists thing. It was stupid to introduce, and I don't know why they did. It didn't seem to have any payoff whatsoever. So Blizzard, I don't know what you were thinking there, but it was not a good choice. So don't do it anymore. It's very hard to tell conflicting canonical stories at the same time in an MMO. So don't, because no one else does it. Not in the way that Blizzard's trying to do it, at least. Because it doesn't work. So anyway, those are my thoughts about the epilogue. Pretty interesting. I love seeing Kalia in the game. I really wish she had a much bigger role. But, like I said, I think they've obviously set her up for a allied race leader position here. I don't think she's going to join the Forsaken. I think It's interesting. I wonder if Nathanos is still in the Forsaken. Because Sylvanas is not in the Forsaken. She's not in it anymore. She left. She abandoned him. So, Nathanos is still reporting to her, but is he still leading the Forsaken? And if that's the case, how could... If after the Siege of Undercity, Thrall was like, alright, we're replacing all your guards with my dudes, how can anyone be like, oh, Sylvanas left, I guess her number 1 fanboy is still here, and he'll be loyal to us still, right? I can't see a possibility where he's still in the Horde and the Forsaken. So, I'm going to just discount him too. So the leader of the Forsaken is Lillian Voss, I guess. She's the highest ranking Forsaken Horde-aligned character left. And you saw her in the... she was standing in the background in the Sarfang funeral. So, I feel like Lillian Voss is the new Forsaken leader. And if that's the case, I'm actually okay with how she got to where she was after the fact. I think they could have done it better integrating her into the Horde and the Forsaken. But if where we are now is she's leading the Forsaken, good. Because the Forsaken need a leader who's not just evil for evil's sake, doing evil things and laughing about it. It's stupid. That's how that is what Sylvanas was doing for so long. And I like Lillian Voss. I liked her perspective. I really loved her interactions with Thomas Zelling, who I'm very sad died. Because I think he could have been a really good Forsaken leader, representing like a more morally good version of a Forsaken. A Forsaken faction, meaning, not a Forsaken undead. Because Kalia is a good Forsaken, but I mean, within the Forsaken faction, it could have been like Thomas Zelling and Lillian Voss. I really wish they would just like remake the Desolate Council. That would be cool. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see what happens going forward. But this was all pretty good. 8.2.5. My favorite thing of Battle for Azeroth. And notice how there was very little gameplay and almost all story. Shockingly, when a story is pretty good, it doesn't matter if there's not a lot of gameplay, because then the game will still be good. I know that's hard to understand, Blizzard, but that's usually the case. If the story of the game is good, you don't have to have tons of pointless kill quests like Classic. Just my opinion, but let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. But until then, stay awesome. The Rathian quest chain has been covered by like 1 million people, so you can go look up anyone doing that. Or do it yourself now, because I think it's live now. But yeah, just in a little over a month, we will have BlizzCon. I was wrong, by the way. I thought that this was going to be time-gated, and we wouldn't have anything until like the middle or the end of October. I'm happy to be wrong. I was expecting the worst, and I got the best, so... Sometimes that is why I do the things and do and say the things that I do and believe the things that I believe, because I like to be pleasantly surprised. And hey, I was very pleasantly surprised by this patch. I ashamed at all to say I expected this to be shit, and I went out of this whole patch thinking it was great, actually. I had very little to complain about. If I wanted to get into the weeds and nitpick everything, sure, the Night Elves not being here is a problem, but if you want to go and see people incessantly complaining about that, Twitter is the place for you, and I just don't care to see it, because I really liked this patch, and then I logged on and I just saw people. I went on Twitter and I just saw people in the forums, people just constantly fucking complaining about the same fucking Night Elf stuff again and again. It's like, dudes, it's been like a year. Give it a break. You have valid points, but incessantly bringing it up on every single thing, even when it's unrelated to what's going on. Oh, it's like when people complain about High Elves. You have a valid point, but you're ruining your own message by being a douchebag about it to everybody. Like, I don't get it. So I'm sorry if you're one of those people and that offends you, but I'm just kind of frustrated with you guys right now. Even though I agree with you in a large part. Just, jeez. Damn. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Let me know your thoughts down below. And yeah, farewell.